What if Earth split in half? What if cats ruled? What if everything you know changed? Let's rewrite history, bend time, and break the rules together. This is Versebreaker.
What if you vanished in broad daylight from a crowded building in downtown Portland and no one ever figured out why? What if your car was found miles away, your keys still in the ignition, and the only thing missing was your work binder and your passport? This isn't fiction or a ghost story. This is the real disappearance of Catherine Scott Eggleston, a 22-year-old college grad with a new job, a bright future, and a family that's been searching for answers since August 2nd of 1993. She wasn't rich or famous or anything like that. She matters. And on this episode of Versebreaker, we're bringing her story back into the light where it should have been all along. Because we don't forget the names that history or certain communities try to bury. We don't give up on justice just because someone isn't a millionaire or famous. We remember, and we fucking raise hell for the ones who can't. So who was Catherine Eggleston? Catherine Scott Eggleston, or Katie to her family, was born on May 4th, 1971 in Redmond, Oregon, which is east of the Cascade Range and Mount Hood off Highway 26. She grew up in a tight-knit family, the kind you'd see in a 90s photo album. Her dad was a high school teacher who later became a school superintendent. Her mom taught elementary school. Katie was one of 4 sisters, and they were all close. She wasn't a runaway, she didn't have mental health issues, she didn't live with some wild double life or anything like that. She graduated from OSU, or Oregon State University, in the spring of 1993 with a degree in English. She was smart, thoughtful, steady. She joined Alpha Chi Omega during her time there and was known for being kind, focused, and dependable. After college, she moved to Gresham to live with her sister Janet and started her first real job, a sales position with AllNet Communication Services in Lake Oswego. August 2nd, 1993 was supposed to be her first day out in the field working solo. So who was Catherine Eggleston? Catherine Scott Eggleston, or Katie to her family, was born on May 4th, 1971 in Redmond, Oregon, which is east of the Cascade Range and Mount Hood off Highway 26. She grew up in a tight-knit family, the kind you'd see in a 90s photo album. Her dad was a high school teacher who later became a school superintendent, and her mom taught elementary school. Katie was one of 4 sisters, and they were all close. She wasn't a runaway, she didn't have mental health issues or a drug problem, she didn't lead some crazy double life partying or anything like that. She was just your normal, nice, young lady. She graduated from Oregon State University in the spring of 1993 with a degree in English. She was smart, thoughtful, steady. She joined Alpha Chi Omega during her time there and was known for being kind, focused, and dependable. After college, she moved to Gresham to live with her sister, Janet, and started her first real job, a sales position with AllNet Communication Services in Lake Oswego. August 2nd, 1993 was supposed to be her first day out in the field working solo. She was just a 22-year-old young woman trying to launch her career and build a life. That's what makes this next part so damn frustrating. Because what happened to Katie happened out in the open, in the middle of the day. And no one has been able to explain it since. Before we break down the timeline from that August 2nd day in 1993, let's look at the suspects from the start. Over the years, there's been a handful of names and possibilities that have surfaced in the disappearance of Catherine Eggleston. Some of them made headlines and others were quickly cleared. The man in the blue blazer was the first and most haunting potential suspect, and he was never named. Around 2:15 p.m., the day she vanished, a witness saw Katie stepping into an elevator inside the Port of Portland building with a man. He was described as dark-haired, dark-complexioned, medium build, wearing a blue blazer. That man has never been identified. No one knows who he was. There was no security footage or anything like that. And remember, it was 1993, so even if they had video of the man, it would probably be harder to see than the micro penises on our ever so wonderful politicians. But to this day, he's the last person known to see Catherine alive. Next, detectives turn to the most obvious person, which would be her ex-boyfriend, a man from her hometown of Redmond, Oregon. Not a lot to say on him, really. It was a routine step, right? Checked his alibi, they tracked his location, and they ruled him out completely. He was nowhere near Portland the day Katie disappeared, so police are confident it wasn't him. Another possible lead, a security guard who may have had access to the garage where Katie's car was found. This individual was reportedly questioned due to unusual access or behavior, but their name was never released. Investigators have never confirmed whether this person has been cleared or not. Weeks after Katie vanished, a call came into a tip line. The voice was male. He allegedly had a southern accent and was very calm while claiming responsibility. He said that he abducted Katie, and 2 weeks after she disappeared, he murdered her. However, there was no name or any other clues about who he could have been, and the call wasn't traced. It turned out to be just another haunting clue that frustratingly led nowhere. Nearly a decade later, in 2001, a new witness stepped forward. A gas station attendant said they saw a woman who looked just like Katie, crying, partially undressed, clearly distressed. She was with two dark-skinned men in a vehicle, and she was carrying a thick binder, possibly the same one she was using for work when she vanished. And the location was roughly 4 miles south of where her car was found. There was no plate number, no surveillance footage, nothing. Just another possibility that never turned into resolution. Then came a name that actually scared people: Joel Patrick Courtney, a convicted rapist and murderer who was found guilty of killing another Oregon college student, Brooke Carol Wilberger, who disappeared May 24th, 2004 in Corvallis, Oregon, an hour or two drive on I-5 south of Portland. It's where OSU, Oregon State University, is. He was known to be in Oregon in 1993. The FBI opened a file, looked at patterns, checked timelines, all that good investigation stuff. Though he was cleared of 2 other murders, he was never officially cleared from this case. And that's about as far as suspects go. Not a whole lot to go on. So let's look at the timeline of the day Katie disappeared. That day in August of 1993 began like any other day. Around 8 a.m., Katie arrived excited for her first day at the AllNet Communications office in Lake Oswego. Lake Oswego is a pretty wealthy area, a few miles south of Portland on 55. It was her first day working solo as a sales rep. She met with her supervisor and colleagues to go over her route and sales targets. All the stuff she needed to know for her first solo day at her first big job. Sometime between 10:45 and 12 p.m., she hit the road, hitting up various businesses along Northeast Whitaker Way. She made in-person sales pitches, handed out brochures, and dropped business cards as part of her pitch routine. She also stopped at a local bank, then pulled into a gas station, and later grabbed lunch at a Burger King near Lloyd Center, which is a large mall in downtown Portland. So at lunch, between 12:30 and 1:15 p.m., she was eating her lunch at Burger King. So I couldn't find any details on what she was doing between 12:30 and 1:15 besides eating, but we can speculate. She's probably going over her notes, updated her binder, prep for afternoon appointments. But again, that's just speculation on my part. This was her first day flying solo, so meticulous planning and confidence were key. And from what I've been able to find about her, she had plenty of both. Sometime between 1:15 p.m. and 2:15 p.m., she continued her sales route, making callbacks and setting up appointments. She showed up at the Port of Portland building, 700 Northeast Multnomah Street, around 2 p.m. for a business meeting. The Port of Portland building is like a block or two from the Lloyd Center, right in downtown. 2:15 p.m. was the last confirmed sighting. Multiple witnesses saw Katie in the lobby. One coworker remembered she looked worried and preoccupied. 5 other people later confirmed her posture and expression as tense. Around then, a client of hers spotted her stepping out of an elevator with the man in the blue blazer, someone no one in her life had ever recognized or heard of. That was the last time anyone ever saw her. So what about the investigation? What went on then? Updates, and where is it today, almost 32 years to the day since Katie disappeared? The investigation into Catherine Eggleston's disappearance began almost immediately. Early assumptions and reporting said that someone, a witness or coworker, spotted a car that looked like hers parked outside the Port of Portland building. However, I couldn't find anything concrete on any of that. What I do know is that her supervisor grew concerned and tried to find her when she didn't return back to her office for her 5 p.m. end-of-day meetings. Early the next morning, on August 3rd, 1993, at around 12:30 a.m., her car was found by a security guard making rounds in a parking garage 9 miles away from the Port of Portland building. The car was unlocked, the keys were still in the ignition, and her purse and workout clothes were inside along with her money and ID. But there was 2 things missing: her passport and her all-net sales binder. Later that morning, her father and one of her sisters, Janet, arrived in Portland and officially filed a missing persons report, and the search began. Over the next several days, police, volunteers, even bloodhounds and helicopters scoured the surrounding area. But nothing. Nada. Not a damn thing. Investigators later tracked a possible path from Northeast Multnomah to Northeast 122nd Airport Way, where it's believed her car may have been moved and staged later. And that's where the trail went cold. At that point, there was no suspects, no witnesses who saw her leave, no surveillance footage, no sign of a struggle, nothing out of place, just nothing. Early on, police floated a theory that Katie may have run away voluntarily, possibly to avoid testifying in a tax evasion case involving her sister Janet. But there was a serious problem with that early theory. See, Janet had already taken a plea deal, so there wasn't going to be any kind of trial or anything like that. So Katie wouldn't have been needed in court. And also, other than the passport and her work binder, nothing else was gone. No money, no personal items, nada. It was all gone. So her family has always insisted that she did not run. And as I mentioned before, detectives did interview her former boyfriend from Redmond, but he was quickly cleared. So, he was hundreds of miles away when she vanished. For years, the case sat unresolved with no new promising leads. Then, in 2001, a new lead surfaced. A gas station attendant working about 4 miles from where Katie's car was found said they'd seen a young woman who matched her description. The attendant stated that the woman looked distressed, disheveled, partially undressed, and possibly crying. She was with 2 dark-skinned men in a car. She was holding a thick binder, possibly her all-net binder she was known to have with her the day she disappeared. Though, to me anyways, it seems odd that after all these years, the one thing she'd still be carrying around would be her work binder. But you never know. And also, it may not have even been her. Police couldn't get a name, a license plate number, card number, nothing. Frustratingly, it was just another dead end. In 2006, a new possibility emerged. The FBI, who was tracking this case as well, began looking into a connection between Katie's case and Joel Patrick Courtney, the suspect I briefly mentioned before. A convicted rapist and murderer already serving time for the abduction and killing of Brooke Wilberger, another Oregon student. Courtney was in Oregon in 1993. He had a history of violence, and he matched certain patterns investigators were reviewing. But the FBI has never confirmed a direct link. He was cleared in 2 other missing persons cases, and while they haven't ruled him out entirely in Katie's case, no charges have ever been filed. In 2014, Portland Police Bureau officially moved the case to the Cold Case Homicide Unit. Her files, along with her car, remain preserved in evidence storage. Police say they're waiting for a technological breakthrough, maybe better DNA tools, new trace evidence analysis, or a tip that finally opens the door. I'm reading into things here a bit, but it sounds like they may have some trace DNA samples or something like that, but again, that's just conjecture on my part. As of now, the case is still open. There's a $2,500 reward for any tip that leads to resolution. Tips can still be submitted through Portland Police, the Cold Case Tip Line, or Crime Stoppers of Oregon. So after no more than 3 decades, that's where we are. No arrests, no confirmed sightings, no confirmed suspects, and no answers. But make no mistake, this isn't over. Those who remember Katie, her loved ones, friends, co-workers, are still watching and still searching. And for whoever knows what happened to Katie that August day in 1993, silence will not protect you forever. If you have any tips or information that may lead to finding out what happened to Catherine Scott Eggleston, or any other information on any other case, even if you think it's not important, please contact Portland Police Bureau Cold Case Homicide Unit. Primary tip line number is 503-823-0400. Alternate number for the detective's voicemail, 503-823-0446. Mention case number 93-69837 and or give Catherine Scott Eggleston's name. Crime Stoppers of Oregon, anonymous tips. Online can be reached at www.crimestoppersoforegon.com. That's www.crimestoppersoforegon.com. For the phone tip line, call 503-823-4357. There's a reward up to $2,500 for information leading to an arrest or resolution. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Adults, 1-800-690-FIND. That's 1-800-690-3463. And the FBI tip line for potential interstate federal cases. That's 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-225-5324. The answers are out there somewhere. Help bring Katie home to her family.
We rewrote history. We bent time. And we broke the rules. Now it's your turn. Drop your what if in the comments. CashApp, $Versebreaker. Instagram, @Versebreaker. Substack, versebreaker.substack.com. Versebreaker.